Hi, Aniruddha here. So, in this session of the banking project, we are going to discuss more things about the banking app and how do you implement it into the Node.js. So, if you have landed directly on this video, what I request you, this video is recorded in the continuation of first part. So go to the first part in the beginning and then come back to this video again. So what we are trying to do over here, we are trying to create very simple banking app. If you see all these details as we have discussed in the earlier recording or as we have discussed in the earlier session. So at that time we have seen how to take input from the user. Let me instead of talking, let me run it. So if I go here, yeah, so I'm in the NodeJs banking app, and here we can say node, here we can say node app.js. Sorry, I have written code in the menu.js and hit the enter. Can you see? You see this menu, enter your choice. I can say I am selecting first, create account is done. I'm selecting 2, you have selected deposit money. I'm selecting 3, you have selected withdraw money. 4, check balance. 5 transfer money. And in the last, if I say 6 or greater than 6, right, exit, bye bye, and application is getting exited. So in the last session or in the last recording, in the last video, we have done this part. Now at that time I said that I will discuss this new promise async and await in the next session. So first we need to see what do you mean by promises. What do you mean by promises? So when you talk about the promise, this one here, if you see what we have used, a readline package, a default package from the Node.js we have used over here. That is nothing but what the readline, which gets the input, which will helps you to communicate with the standard input string, right? So here we created the interface, and then if you see rl.question, enter your choice ch, and after that we have used the lambda function or the fat arrow. Okay, but here we have used the promise. So first question, why we have used the promise, and second question, how it is working exactly. If you see, promise object represents eventual completion or the failure of an asynchronous operation, of an what? Asynchronous operation. So here user might, so whenever you say, so just I'll go to the app.js, and to explain you the promise exactly, see, video might get longer. Why? Let me tell you, because this is a project implementation, and whatever things require for implementing the project, that would be getting explained or that would be getting understood by you on the fly, right? Top down approach or the reverse engineering approach. I need to take input from the user, what things I would be needing, that things I would be understanding on the fly. That's what the project is. We are not giving any kind of exam here, remember, but what we are trying to do, we are trying to implement the banking application. Okay, so this thing is there, and if you see rl.question, this is the default method in the Node.js, see the last session or the recording. So whenever I refer the session, please understand that I'm referring for the last recording. So here, this thing we have done. Now see what happens. So here there is no promise, just remove it. And here I can say console.log, and here I can say executed. Okay, console.log executed. This thing I will write. So remove this, just hello. So I'm just explaining you in the app.js. Now go to the terminal. I'm using embedded terminal, but remember that if you are on the computer which is with the low configuration, do not use the embedded terminal. Create a separate command prompt. Okay. Now here I can say node and app.js. Can you see? Can you see executed? See here. So executed you have written over here. Enter your choice executed, which means that program pointer is executing this code, immediately going ahead to this code. See, look at the code. Again I will do that for you. Again I will do it for you. Now see. Now see, here again I'll write a /n over here, /n, and this line, so that you will easily understand what's happening. Node app.js. Can you see? Enter your choice, and this guy has execute, and this line has executed before. See, still you have not entered the data, but this line has executed, which means that this call is, what you can say, asynchronous call, this rl.question. So program pointer is not waiting to get this thing executed completely. So Node.js says that okay, you have written this code, but I'm not going to wait user to input the data. I will go ahead to the next line. And whenever user enters the input, right, at that time I will see what to do. Now see, here I am entering and hit the enter, right, and I am hitting the enter over here, and see what happens. Actually, if you see our this code, we need to, what we can say, we need to resolve this ch. Technically what we have done, from here we have resolved. Now in the readline function, right, we need to rl.close. See here, rl.close. I will write the code, and here I can say console.log you entered, and here we can say $ch. Well, in the case of lambdas, this thing is also not important, right? Now what we can do, let's Node.js app, run it again. Can you see executed? Now see, here I am typing something and hit the enter. Can you see you entered this thing? Means this line, and immediately after this line, whole this thing, this line is getting executed, right? And see, eventual completion, as per the definition of the promise, object represents eventual completion. Means see, user is not going to enter immediately, user might enter after some time, but Node.js says that I am not going to wait till user enters the thing. Now see, whenever user enters the data, and whenever user hits the enter key, right, at that time see here, once again I am running Node.js app. See, I have typed the code, right? I have typed something, but I didn't hit the enter, and that's why I keep on entering, right? The moment I'm going to hit the enter, this much function is going to get called, and inside this function you have written you entered this ch, and you are closing the stream. You are closing what? Stream. See, understand. So Node.js is not waiting to this, Node.js is not waiting to complete this function immediately, right? Node.js says that, okay, you have written this function, but I'm not going to wait user to enter the data. I will go ahead with this function, and whenever user is going to enter the data, I'm going to call I'm going to call this function. It says that I am going to call this selected function. Whenever user types the data, whenever user hits the enter, right, I would be calling this thing. Now see, this is a eventual completion, means this is not going to happen immediately, but this is going to happen sometime in the future. Sometime in the future. And in such cases, right, we need the promises. Promise by the definition is nothing but what? Eventual completion. Promise is nothing but what? Eventual completion or the failure of your task. So we have used promise over here, right? So we have used what? Promise over here. Now see, promise comes with the a function you need to pass to the constructor of the promise. Well, I will cover object oriented JavaScript in some other videos. As I told you in the first session itself, that my target for this is a pure coding, right, and code related concepts like asynchronous programming. So asynchronous programming in the JavaScript or in the Node.js more precisely has been handled by the promises, right? Now what is a promise? Eventual completion or the failure of the event or of the operation. So here, so if success is there, you need to resolve the data. If failure is there, you need to reject the promise. If success is there, you need to resolve the promise. If failure is there, you need to reject the promise. I am repeating again. If success is there, success is represented by this parameter, failure is represented by this parameter, and that's why after completion, right, we are resolving the promise. So as we discussed over here, so this function gets called whenever user enters the data and hits the enter button. This much function is getting called, right? So whenever this much function is getting called, we are saying that, okay, this is a success event, just do this thing. Now here, I hope you clear about this promise, why we have written like this. So const IP is equals to a lambda. Well, I'm referring it to the lambda, but in the ecosystem of the JavaScript, we call it as the fat arrows. Whatever you call fat arrows or the lambda, one and same. Internal, not internal, but the base understanding of the lambdas and the fat arrows are same. So in the Java, we call it as lambda. In the Java world, we call it as lambda. So in the JavaScript world, we call it as the fat arrows. So here you created, even this is not, these brackets are not required. Just remove this, to make it more precise. Just this much is okay. Just this much code is okay. Just make a habit of reformatting the code again and again. See, this much is absolutely okay, right? Because it is a one line function. So this is a function, and returning the promise. Remember that it's a one-liner lambda which is returning the promise. So you don't need to write brackets over here. I will cover, if you want me to create a series of the JavaScript codes in my way, please write it in the comment box. I will definitely create a complete series on the JavaScript. Okay. Now here, if you see another thing, again, just one keyword, it's the same. Both the things are same. I'm sorry. So if you see this const IP is equals to new promise and this, both the things are same. There is no difference, but just async keyword has been written. Now, when you say async keyword we have used over here, it is like that subscribing the promise, right? Now what I will do, let me copy this much code and I will write it over here, IP, okay, IP, and see if you want to get the details of the IP, JavaScript says that IP.subscribe, IP. Not subscribe, it's IP.then, IP.then. So here I can say I'm going to get a DT which is entered by the user, and here we can say console.log IP. So you need to do this subscription. Subscription means what? Then. You can say IP.then. So whenever resolve is going to get called over here, this DT or this much thing would be getting called. Now see, again I will run the project. Let me clear the console, save it, and here you can say node app.js, hit the enter. What's that? Okay, got it. IP.then, if you see, is not a function. Got it. So let's create a function over here, or we can say const read data is equals to, I can say this IP, const read data is equals to IP.then, and here we can call the function read data, and you go here and you can go over here what's the concern? IP is a function. So here you need to call it by means of this thing. So here this also not required. Here it is saying that the IP is a function, it is not a variable. So you need to call like this. See, this is a function, remember that. Now just clear it, hit the enter, and you can say, yeah, can you see executed this line? And here I can say something like this, you have printed, can you see, resolve this, and this is getting executed over here, and this is getting what? Executed over here. So whatever you have printed, okay, if it is not clearing, we can say you entered, and see I'm using backticks, and that's why string interpolation is possible in my case. String interpolation is possible in my case, and here I can say, see, I think we have not saved it, just a minute, and here let me type it, and can you see you entered this thing. So you created a promise and you tried to get the data from the promise in this way. Now see, here we have used something called as async. That is also one thing. What is a async now? Now Now when you talk about the async and await, right? Async and await is that thing. So this then becomes little bit too much code for the JavaScript developer, or little bit too much. Because of this thens, this can be chained. Remember that thens can be chained. So it becomes little bit uglier, right? So to make it your code clean, JavaScript says that I'm going to give you async and await. I'm going to give you what? Async and await. So when you talk about the async and await, is a way to write JavaScript code in a more, you can say, understandable or in a more comfortable way. You can write the code in more comfortable way. Now see what you have done here. You have called this IP, then dot, then it is like that. But you can write it in a one line like this. You can say const, you can say ch is equals to, right? Const ch is equals to await and IP. Await and IP, and this need to be async. In this case, this need to be async. Now I will comment this out. I will what? Comment this out, and let's try to run the project and see it again. Let me clear it and node. Okay. So one thing is there. Let's create a function, right? Let's create a function async. Now when you talk about the await, remember that it should be inside async function only. It should be inside what? So this need not to be async. Remember that if you are going to use await inside this, you need to have async over here. You need to have what? Async over here. But if you see const ch is equals to async is equals to await and this IP. Now try to run the project. Now just try to run the project and give a call to the ch like this. Okay, and see here NodeJS app and type something and hit the enter. We can say here, okay, we didn't console it. So technically, sorry, we didn't console it. So remember that now instead of writing this much line, you can write one line over here. Async, this is a function, and inside the function you can say await and the IP. Promises can be resolved by using the await keyword. Technically, what is async and await? A more comfortable function to work with the promises. It is not necessary, async and await is a facility which gives you a more easiness, more comfortability when you work with the promises. Either you can opt for this thing, or you can opt for this strategy. So here you can say console.log, and here I can say you entered plus ch, or you can use string interpolation also. Okay, now go here, just clear the screen and NodeJS app and see. Await IP, resolve ch. So when you talk about async and await, okay, we have a promise, enter your choice, okay, that is executing. IP you have called over here, await IP, async function, well, this also we don't need the function. Now see, just to make IP over here and see what happens. Node.js app executed, IP, so async function await IP, so new promise, then resolve this thing, async await, what's the concern? So async function is there, IP is getting resolved, inside this function we can say const dt is equals to this, const dt is equals to this, and here I can go inside this, and here we can say you entered the dt, and let's call ch normally, no problem. Let's clear it and see. Yeah, can you see you entered this part? So await IP. Now just try to return dt from here, return dt, and here console.log ch, okay, yeah, you entered this thing. So this is how it works. So in the earlier case, see here, this is how it works. So async and await, and you can say async and await and the promises. So promises eventual completion of the eventual completion. Just a minute, let me run it one again. Yeah, can you see here, state of the promise is pending. That was the concern. So from here, right, so dt is representing to the promise. Here dt is representing to the promise, so don't return from here anything, just you can say inside this, otherwise that would be the chaining of the promise. right? Otherwise that would be what? Chaining of the promises. So you go here and run it again. You entered this thing. See, let me revise it once again what we have done. So I have typed code in front of you. I was trying everything in front of you, right? As if I'm typing the code for the first time. There was some mistakes. Then over the period of time, I have executed the mistakes. I have resolved the mistakes. So first, so this code is working. We don't have any problem with this code. This code is working. But for explaining you the promises and async and await, I have written this code. This is not required at all. So if I want to revise the concept of the promise, I will revise in this way. It is nothing but what? Eventual completion of the operation in the future. Eventual completion of the operation in the future. That can be success or that can be failure. Success is defined by the resolve parameter, and reject is defined by any other and failure is defined by the reject parameter. Success is defined by resolve parameter. You can say that operation is succeeded in this way, and you can say that operation is failed in this way, some error or like this. You can do that. Some error or like this, something like this, you can do that. Now after that, if you want to work with the promises, this is one code, a traditional code, but this becomes huge. If you have multiple promises, this code becomes huge. So that if you don't want to go with this code, right, JavaScript says that there is something called as async and await. What is async and await? Async and await are the things. Async function is a function declared with the async keyword, and the await is a keyword permitted within it, right? See, async function and await is a keyword permitted within it. The async and await keywords enables asynchronous promise based behavior to be written in a cleaner style, avoiding the need to explicitly configure the promise chains. To avoid promise chains to be configured explicitly, and the promise code needs to be written in a more cleaner way, we use async and await. Remember that? Async and await keywords enable asynchronous promise based behavior to be written in a cleaner style by avoiding to work with the promise chains. That's the purpose of the async and await, and that's what we have used over here. Getting that? Now this code we have written. I hope you have understood the promises async and await. See team, if you have understood promises, please write it in the comment box that we have understood promise async and await in a well fashion, right? That would be a receipt to me that I am delivering quality content. Okay, I hope you will give the comment over there. Now I am removing all this code that we don't need. I have written this code just for the explanation purpose. Let me make it as usual, and here I can say this is the main file from our application should be started. So banking application we have create new account, withdraw money, check balance, transfer money, and the exit. Okay. Now to work with this project, I'm going to use the Postgres Sql database. I'm going to use what? Postgres Sql database. So we can create the account in the Postgres, we can deposit money to the Postgres, we can withdraw money actually from the database. Now here we would be writing the code which will communicate with the database. Actually, let's do that thing now. So here make sure that you have installed Postgres on your machine. Installation is very easy. you can get a lot of videos related to the installation over there. So if you want to work with the Postgres, right, if you want to work with the Postgres, remember that you need to have first the driver. You need to have what? A Postgres SQL driver. And that Postgres SQL driver, you need to install it from the npm. Let me show you how. So here, let's close this. And in the NodeJs Banking App, there is one utility called as pg. See, npm install. pg hyphen save. Okay, look at the package.json that I have open here, hit the enter. Now see, it would be downloading the pg package. Can you see? pg 8.7.3 is here, and this utility will communicate with the Postgres SQL. One more thing, whenever you have a node modules, whenever you install any third party in your project, you can have .gitignore file, because it's not good practice to upload node modules to the node modules, you can say. Now see here, 155 differences are there. Here you can say node underscore modules. Save it. Can you see only 5 differences are there? Means you have ignored this folder. We will not upload this folder to the GitHub, right? And that's why having a gitignore file is very important in your project. Now in the menu.js, if you go here, what we need to do, here I will create a separate file, say db.js, and in the db.js we would be writing some code to get connected with Postgres SQL. Now see, I have installed Postgres by means of Docker. You might not choose to install it with the Docker, right? You can install Postgres by means of anything. So I will start the Postgres SQL from the Docker desktop. Well, this is one way of installing the Postgres by means of Docker. It is not necessary that you should use the same thing. You can go with the normal installation also, no problem. So I'll go to the CLI. Okay, I will go to the CLI, and here let me make a connectivity with the Postgres. Let me make what? Connectivity with the Postgres. And if you want to make the connectivity with the Postgres, first PSQL -u, and I can say user. So this is the user I already have created, I already have configured, is this user. Okay. Now I would be writing some code for making connectivity with the Postgres SQL. So first thing we can say const. We would be needing the client. Client is equals to require from the PG package. From the PG package we would be needing the client. Okay. Then we can say const client is equals to new client. So here we are creating a new Postgres client, and see here we need to make connectivity to the client, and here we can say const. Let's write a function const connect is equals to, it is a async function. That's why I have spent a lot of time on the async and await in the beginning. Async function, and await, we can say await client dot connect, client dot what, connect. So first we need to make the client connectivity. Remember that if client connectivity is okay, then and only then we should move ahead. Then and only then we should move ahead. If client connectivity is okay, if client connectivity is okay, then and only then we can move ahead. So here to this client we need to pass the JavaScript object, and we can say user, and here I can say my username is this, host, where exactly it is running, localhost, password, same, I have password, and the port is a default port. Port would be what? A default port 5432. Mongo would be default running 5432. And here let's call the connect function. Let's call what? Connect function. And if connectivity is okay, let's write console.log. We can say console.log connected successfully. Connected what? Successfully. Well, there is one more thing over here. Which database you want to connect with? So let's go here and create the database. So create database, and I can say bankdb. Okay, database has been created over here, so we can give bankdb. Okay, and here if connection is successful, here we can see the successful connectivity. Now go here, not here, and you can say node db.js. It is saying connected successfully, but I am doubtful that connection is successful over here. Let's give some another thing, right? Let's give some another thing. Wrong data. Yeah, there is a problem, right? But still it shows connected successfully, right? Because of this connectivity is happening over here. It is showing what you can say, it is showing connection is successful or not. Okay, means this guy is working actually. If successful connectivity is there, right, then there won't be any error. But if there is some problem with any of the details, there would be error. See this again. Let's clear the console, and here you can say node dbs.js. See, there is no problem, and immediately this thing would be getting executed, right? And after that it is not throwing any error. Okay, if you have any questions, you can write it in the chat box, no problem. Sorry, write it in the comment box. So whatever comment box or chat box, whatever that is. Now here there are a lot of other packages also. There are a lot of other packages also we have, like PG. We have other packages also that can help you, right? That can help you in connecting with the database. But out of that I am using one package that is nothing but what, PG, to get connect with the DB. Well, we can handle the errors also. Remember that we can handle the errors also. Now see, try catch I can write, and inside a try catch here you can write the connect, and if everything is okay, console.log, we can say connected successfully, and here we can say this thing, and here we can say log, console.log error. Okay, and we can write one more, this error in connectivity. Let us see this works or not. Error in connectivity. Let's do it again. Connection successful. Let's give some wrong data, a wrong database which is not available, and see what happens. Yeah, well, there is some problem you can see here, but it is not entering into this part. It is not entering into this part, which means that PG package has handled the errors in some different way. That we will resolve it. Okay. Now if you go to this connect, you see connect is with the callback also, and there you can see, to this connect you can see, can you see, this is the connect that we are using right now, which is returning the promise. That is okay. But here if you see connect, this connect is coming with the callback, right? And there is one event also, client.on. Now if you see, there is a on function, on event error, some errors are there, you can work with that part also. Now here we can have a client.connect, you created the client over here, and we can say client dot on error, and after the error, it is having this thing. So err like this, and instead of this try catch, see here, error in connectivity we can say, and remove this try catch from here. Let us see this thing is working or not. This thing is working or not. And how many other events are there? Drain, error, notification, and like this. These many are the errors available. Now here, connected successfully. Let us try to run the project again. All things are saved, dbs.js. So still a database error, this thing is not working. It is not entering in this part as well. Then what we need to do, this is one approach. Here you can get connected with the thing. Now see client dot what is this add listener, event name, okay, we can add listener from here also. Now if you go to the, just hold on, client.connect, it is returning the promise and the error. And if you see here, error. Now what types of error it is handling, we don't know. So just remove this, and we can say client dot connect, and see to the connect, if you see the client.connect, this second connect function we are trying to use, and here we can say first error first technique, and then you get the DB object if there is a no error. Now we are not using this part, and here we can say if there is an error, then we can say console.log error in the connectivity, just return it, else we can say, else we can write next part. Now let's comment else connected successfully, and let's not call this connect over here. Okay, let's not call this connect over here. Now let's try to run the project, because I need to handle the error. See now, error in connectivity, because I have passed the wrong data. Now I can pass the correct data. It should show me database connectivity successful. That's what we are needing. Well, which means that this PG package gives you here, a PG package gives you what you can say, two things over here. This PG package gives you two things over here. One, connectivity by means of the promises, and connectivity by means of a callback functions. Connectivity by means of the promises and the connectivity by means of the callback functions, right? So our concern is to the client object, and by means of the client we can fire the queries. Now see, what I want to do, I hope you have got this thing. So I'm just removing this part. This is not needed. And see, this connect function I will keep together. So you might want to refer this as well. Well, anyways, this is available in the recording. So I will make a push now. Here. DB connectivity, or we can say DB. We have studied connectivity, right? And I need to push the code. Okay, code has been already pushed on the Git repository, right? Go to my profile and over there you will get the Git repository. So here you can say just error object, and inside the error object you are performing the connectivity call, and here you are saying if there is an error, right? If there is an error, do this thing, otherwise do this thing. Okay, again I will push DB connectivity improvised. You can say yes and just try to, did I push it or not? Just push it. Yeah. Now go here, just stop the execution, clear, and here you can say node DBs connected successfully, right? Connected what? Successfully. So this is the DBs. Now in the DBs package, what I need to do after the successful connectivity, I need to perform the queries, but before that we need to create the table first. So here I can say create. If you want to see how many tables are there, DT. Cars is one of the table. So first you need to connect to the database. Remember that in the Postgres, /DT gives you the tables. Now see here, /C, name of the table, bank DB. Hit the enter. You are now connected to the bank DB. Now see /DT did not find any relations over here. Now see what we need to perform. Our operations are create new account, deposit, withdraw, check, transfer. Create new account. We need to create the new account for the user, right? We need to create what? New account. Now see, when you say account would be having account name, ACC, or you can say account name would be there. Then you can say balance would be there, account balance would be there, right? Account name, account balance, you can say account ID would be there, account name, balance, account ID. Remember that. So this much things we would be needing: account name, balance, account ID. So deposit, withdraw, check balance, transfer money, create new account. Okay, account name, balance, account ID. So here account ID would be the primary key, account name and the balance. Okay, so we have a Postgres over here, just CLS or say clear is the command, /not clear is the command to clear the console in the Postgres SQL. And here we can say create table, name of the table is account. Okay, in the bracket we can write AC underscore NM. Type is, first we can say AC underscore ID. Type is integer, primary key. Okay, integer is a primary key. Then AC underscore NM text. Then we have balance. Balance is a numeric, right? And semicolon, hit the enter. So you created the table over here. Now we need to add the primary key constraint. We need to add what? Primary key constraint. And how do you do that? Alter table. How do you do that? Alter table account. Add primary key. Primary key on which column? On which column? Name of the column is AC underscore ID. Hit the enter. Alter table. Okay. Now we can say /d and name of the table account. And see here, you can get the details of the account table. ACID is integer, it's a not null, and here it can say it's a primary key, right? ACNM and the balance. Now here we can write a function. Here technically we can write a function const connect is equals to, or let's not, connectivity is by default. Whenever this class is loaded, whenever this JS is loaded, connectivity would be by default. And here we can say client dot, how do you fire a query now? Or you can say client dot, sorry, first we can say const create new account. Create new account would be this thing. Then one more function, const withdraw. Withdraw. Here you can say this function will withdraw the money. Const deposit. Then we can have this function will deposit the money. Const money transfer. Transfer. This function will transfer the money. This function will transfer the money. Hello? Okay. Now we have created these functions. Create new account, withdraw, deposit, and the transfer. Now we need to write the queries. How do you write the queries? How do you write the queries? Now, if you want to execute something, right? If you want to execute something, client gives you facility to do that. Client gives you facility to do that. But see, you need to know the queries. So here you can say client dot query. You can fire the query over here. So create new account means what? The insert query. Create new account means what? The insert query. Now here, let us see that works or not. Query. And here we can say insert into account table. Insert into what? Account table. Insert into account table values you can say $1, or let us see static data is getting inserted or not first, and then we will see insert into first is ID 1, is account name ABC, I can say, and account balance 100. Okay, and account balance what? 100. And second parameter error and result, and here we can say if there is a error, console.log, we can say problem in creating customer, problem in creating the customer, and here you can go problem in what? Creating the customer. Okay, let us see, we need to run this project and see what happens. Here I will go and create new account. I'll just call this method create new account, and here let's clear the console, and node dbs.js connected successfully. Okay, I think else block we didn't write. Console.log, here we can say created new customer successfully, new customer successfully, created new customer what? Successfully. Yeah, problem in creating new customer it is saying. Now I know the concern. Let us see first at least one entry is there or not for one ABC and the 100. You can go here and select star from, you can say select star from account table. Can you see one ABC 100 means the error is related to the duplicate key, means remember that here it is a primary key, one is a primary key, which means that a data with multiple one IDs is not possible because it's a primary key, and that is the concern, which means that your user is getting created successfully. There is no problem in user getting created, right? So this code is working. Now here we can pass ID that we would be needing, one object we can pass, and inside that object we would be needing ID, then, or we can say AC ID, then ACNM, and then we can say BAL, initial balance. And now see here, how do you do that? Because this data is dynamic, so we can say $1, a placeholder you need to pass $2 and $3. Okay, $2, $3, and the second parameter would be an array. It would be an array, and into that AC ID you need to pass. So the first $1 is represented by this AC ID. Second $1 is represented, $2 is represented by the second element in the array, and $3 is represented by third element in the array, right? $3 is represented by third element in the array. So in the else block we can see, success, we can say console.log and res, this res. So to this create new account, we can pass 2, then PQR, and third would be balance. So initial amount is 0. Okay, let us see this runs or not. Let us see this thing is running or not. Let's clear it and see problem in creating customer, 2 PQR 0. And what's the reason? Insert into. Okay, got it. So here you need to pass the JavaScript object, and we are passing something else. So here we can say account ID is equals to 2, account name is a PQR, and the balance is this. If you see here, you have written into the brackets, which means that you are accepting an object. You are accepting an what? Object. Let's reformat the code over here, reformat the document. Okay, so here if you see account ID 2, account name, balance. See, this is an object. In a ES6 we got this feature. ES6 has given us this feature. So this object, account ID, ACNM bal. So account ID would be 2, account name would be PQR, balance would be 0, BALANCE, BALANCE. Whatever keys you have inside this object, that should be the names over here. See now, and if you see, insert is successful, right? And this RES object is this RES object. New customer created successfully. We don't need this guy. And go to the DB and see here. Can you see 2 PQR initial balance is 0? Can you see 2 PQR initial balance is 0? Means your create account function is absolutely working fine. Now let's write the withdraw function. Let's write what? Withdraw function. Same query you need to write. But when you talk about withdraw, see, client.query, I can say client.query, and here you can say what is a withdraw. Withdraw is nothing but what? Update. Actually 2 queries you need to fire. First you need to get the existing balance. So here you need to pass withdraw from which account ID and the balance. Withdraw from which account ID and the balance. So first you need to know a balance of existing account, right? And then we are subtracting this balance into the existing account. That's what the withdraw function is, right? That's how the withdraw function is required, or that's how your withdraw will work. Now here we can say first we need to have a select query. Select, we can say balance from account table. Select balance from account table. Remember that first you would be having a select query, and then here you can say error first approach, and the result like this. So first we will see this thing is working or not, and here we can say select from the account. Where clause is also there, where account ID, account underscore ID is equals to, we can say $1, parameterized query $1, and second parameter you need to pass, it's an array, and into the array first is account ID. So this question mark would be replaced by this account ID, and you need to go here, and let us see, inside this there would be a single row, and inside that we need to find it out what's the balance is. So here we can say const existing balance is equals to, you can say a response dot rows of 0, right? And let us see what it gives you. Console.log existing balance, existing what? Balance. So instead of this create account, I can pass withdraw, and to the withdraw account ID we can pass 1, and the balance we can pass 0, because presently we are not using this zero balance. We are just testing the utility. See now, just clear it, db.js, can you see balance is 100. So this thing rows of 0 is giving you a object which is having this thing. Now here you can say, here you can say just a balance is equals to this, and this is a, so here we can say new balance, not balance, here we can say amount. That amount we need to take. This is the existing balance, and into that amount we need to add. So here you can say first your existing balance is $. Do not get confused with this dollar and this dollar. This dollar is a feature of the node package PG, and this is the feature of the programming language interpolation. So do not get confused like that. Node DB, can you see your existing balance is what? 100 for this account number 1. Okay, instead of this we can say amount, because we have changed the key. Fine. Now this is the one thing we have got over here. Now inside this query we need to write one more query, client.query, right? Update query, update name of the table account, set balance is equals to $1, where account underscore ID is equals to $2, and second is values. So you can say where balance is equals to balance plus this incoming amount. This would be value of this first $1, and value of the second would be this ACID, where account underscore ID is equals to this question mark. So third parameter over here would be your, if there is any error or the result. So console.log, we can say if there is an error, if error object is having some value, then you can say console.log problem in withdraw money, problem in withdrawing, else withdraw successful, or we can say amount $amount withdrawn successfully. Amount withdraw successfully. What we use? WITHDRAWAL, amount withdrawal successfully. Let us see now from the one. Let's try to withdraw 10 rupees. Okay. Now here if you see, select star from account to the one, account name is ABC, 100 rupees are there. Let's try to withdraw a 10 rupees. Let's try to withdraw the 10 rupees. Node db.js, amount 10 withdrawal successful. Go to the database and see. Yeah, amount 1 and withdraw 10. The reason behind is this. Over here you are getting 100 is a number, sorry, 100 is a string. This is a string, remember that. Over here you have what? String. So this balance is in the string format and this is becoming string, and that's why if you see the output, 100 is appended by 10. 100 is appended by 10. So total, actually update has worked properly, right? Update has worked properly, but because of this is string, this also becomes string. Now you need to convert it. Actually you can say const new balance would be balance plus amount, but remember that balance is in the string format, so rows.0 is in the string format. So you can say parse float is the function. You pass the string and here you can say new balance. Okay, new balance. Now let's try to withdraw. So presently if you see amount is what? 110. Let's try to remove the 10 rupees, which becomes the 10,000. Okay, see now 10 rupees withdrawal successful. Now if you go here, okay, again 10 has been added. Well, technically here only we need to parse float. Here only we need to make a parse float, and withdrawal is not addition, it is subtraction. So this balance okay, just remove this balance. Dot rows dot zero dot balance, it would be like this, and this balance would be parse float, and this balance minus amount. So this here we don't require anything. So parse float, this is a key you are getting. Let us see now what happens. NodeDB.js. Here, yeah, now it is working. Now let's try to withdraw some 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's try to withdraw this much amount. And see what happens. NodeDB.js, this much is withdrawal is successful. Go here. Yeah. One more. Your existing balance is this much is successful. And see, amount is negative. Amount is what? Negative now. Now here, if you see, this constraints you need to write, means if existing balance is that much, then and only then you can reduce the amount. So that code you need to write. I'm not focusing on that right now. Let's clear the basic functionality first. So withdrawal we have completed, means withdrawal is typically working. So withdrawal and deposit are same. There is no difference. Withdrawal and deposit are same. Just copy and paste over here. And here you can say, instead of just negative, you can say just positive. Add the amount. Okay, so here we can say amount deposited successfully. Problem in depositing. Okay, problem in what? Depositing the money. Okay, we didn't check it actually. So this much is thing. Now let's try to add this much. So instead of this, we need to have this guy here also, and instead of withdraw, let's try to deposit that much amount, which makes zero balance, which makes what here, sorry, zero balance. We'll go here and I'm just copying this, just try to deposit this much amount. It should make the zero balance. Okay, now go here, deposit, sorry, again I call, okay, withdraw is there, new balance, existing balance plus amount deposited successfully. Okay, just hold on, delete from account where AC underscore ID is equals to 1. one deleted. Now let's try to deposit. I entered the minus, that's the concern. Let's enter the deposit. Now see here, one account is not there and you are trying to deposit amount to the account ID 1, it should throw the proper error. Now in the second account ID 2, 0 balance is there. Let's add the 1 rupee. Let's add what? A 1 rupee. Your existing balance is 0. Okay, amount added 1 rupee. See now. Okay, 1 rupee has been added. Let's withdraw the 1 rupee. Let's withdraw what? 1 rupee. Let's withdraw the 1 rupee and see. Amount deposit, I think save is not there. So how much is the current balance? So account number 2 is having 2 rupees. Node withdrawal is there. Now go, how much? Here 1 rupee. Can you see? You withdrawn, you can say your withdrawal and the deposit is successful. So withdraw return, deposit return. Now transfer. So you can say source ID, dest ID and the amount. Source ID, destination ID and the amount. Now see, we need to have a client query. Right, select balance from the account where ID is equals to $1, $1. Let's remove all this thing. Deposit is also required. First, we need to get the balance of this source. So here I can say source ID. Source ID. Okay. Then we can get the source balance, src bal, I can say source balance. Fine. So once we got the source balance, we would be needing client destination balance also. So source account and the destination account. Just copy this query. And inside this only, we can say dest balance, dest bal. Okay, so here $1 is equals to dest ID, dest ID. Well, here in all the queries we didn't write the error check. If error, for the select query, if there is an error, then also we need to write problem in withdrawing. Inside else your whole code will go. Inside else whole code will go. Format the document and see here. If there is an error, if this error is there, problem in withdrawing, else this thing. Here also, if we can say error, if error, what's this? Withdraw. Yeah, if error, problem in withdrawing. So here I can say problem in deposit and the else would be this query. After else, here it would be this. Reformat the document and the transfer. And what now? Transfer. So here you got the destination balance, and after that you need to update both source and destination. Update both what? Source and destination. So two update queries would be there, right? Update, set balance. Now see, what do you mean by transfer? Deducting from one account and adding to the another account, right? So it would be withdrawal from the source account, right, and deposit to another account. So here you can say withdraw, and here you can say withdraw from the source ID and the amount, okay, and then deposit to destination account, dest ID and the amount. Remember that, right? And what? Amount. So here if you see, what do you mean by transfer? Transfer means, just delete all these things. A more better approach is to just call withdraw from one account and deposit to another account. Is it correct? What do you think? This is correct or not? Transfer means withdraw from the source account and deposit to the destination account, right? Let's say transfer, and here to the transfer we can say source ID. Now do we have two accounts first? No, we have only one account. So let's create the new account first. Create new account, and here I can say account ID 1, balance name account name ABC, and 1 rupee is a default balance. So here we can say account ID and ACNM account name, and balance would be 0. Default balance would be 0. So let's go here and run it. New customer created. Go here, select star from, can you see, to the 1 0 is there, to the 2 1 is there. Now let's work with the transfer. Let's work with what? Transfer. Now see, I want to transfer from second account to one account. So source ID colon 2, destination ID colon 1, and how much amount you need to transfer? 1 rupees. Amount you need to transfer 1 rupees. Means see, in the destination to PQR there is a 1 rupee. So this becomes 0, this becomes 1. This becomes 0, this becomes 1 after calling the transfer, and that's the ideal scenario. And that's what? Ideal scenario. Now here Node.js, and there is a problem. And withdraw, What is the error? Undefined, cannot read from the undefined. Create new account we have done. Transfer means what? Withdraw and then deposit. Account ID we are passing. Okay. Now concern is that here we can say AC ID is this, and here AC ID is this, and amount is amount. No problem. Sorry, go here and just clear it. Yeah, can you see amount 1? See now. Yeah, can you see for the 2 it becomes 0 and to the 1 it becomes 1. Now if you see here, withdraw is accepting the object. Withdraw is accepting the object whose keys are account ID and the amount. Account ID and the amount to the deposit also. And we were passing src ID is a key and dest ID is a key, which is not available over there, and that's why it was giving you the error. But see here, transfer, deposit, withdraw, create new account means our code is working. Remember that it's not working exactly because you need to check if you are entering the negative amount or not. If you are withdrawing the amount which is more than your existing balance or not. You are depositing the amount which is negative. You need to check all these things. That we will do later on. But first, we have done with these basic operations on the bank. We have completed basic operations of the bank. One more thing over here, remember that as per the good database architecture, connection needs to be open only once and close after all the things. Connection needs to be open only once and close after all the things. Now my next question, you have written code in the menu.js. You have written the code in what? Menu.js, and your operations are in another file. Now my question is that how do you call these functions from another file? These functions from another file. Remember that your menu.js is another file and db.js is another file. So create new account is available in db.js and you need to call it in a menu.js. How to do that? So there is one thing in the Node.js called as module export and import. Modules export and import. You need to export few modules over here. So you can go here and then you can say module dot exports is equals to, so we are exporting one JavaScript object. Into that transfer is there, or we can say create new account is there, deposit is there, withdraw is there, and transfer is there. Well, one more operation is remaining, check balance. Const, I can say balance is equals to a function and this thing, balance, and here we can pass ACID, and you need to write a query. Remember that you need to write what? Query. Well, any select query. Yeah, this query is okay. Any select query we would be needing. And here your this much is done. You are passing account ID as account ID, error in response, problem in fetching, the balance, fetching the balance, right? And here you can say console.log your account balance is balance. Your account balance is what? Balance. And from here, see, you are passing the method references to this object. Create new account would be the key, deposit would be the key, withdraw would be the key, and all these would be referring to the functions. Save it. Module.exports. Remember that in the Node.js we can use module.exports in this way. We can export these functions in this way. Now let us see what happens. This works or not works, or we need to change anything over here. Now in the menu.js you will go, you will say require const, right? This is equals to require. In the current directory, there is a db, and here you can say it is returning one object, create new account, deposit, withdraw, balance, right? Now here if you see, you are creating new account. Now every time you need to get input from the user. Every time you need to get what? Input from the user. Now see, for creating account, we need to get account ID, we need to get account name, and we need to get initial balance. And we need to get what? Initial balance, right? Well, initial balance we can decide it's a 0, but at least we need to have the name. We need to have what? Name. So here, instead of, I will improvise this method. Well, technically there should be one separate file over here, say user input.js, and this file would be responsible for getting the inputs from the user, right? Getting what? Input from the users. So you can do that as well. So you can go to the user input IP. Here we can say MSG, and here you can say message, and here you can add what? Message $MSG. Whatever message is there, that message we will print over here. we can say enter the amount like that. Now here we can say const, we can say enter account name is equals to enter account name is equals to this is a async function. This is a async function. Okay, let's not do this thing right now. I can record this in a separate session. Let's do it like this. Let's keep it as it is. Don't worry, I can record one more video, and over that I can suggest you the best practices. Still, we can just add MSG over here and $MSG, and here you need to have the backticks. Here you need to have the backticks. Okay, and we can say to the IP we need to give a message, enter your choice. Okay, so enter your choice will go over here, it will print over here, and this will happen. So here we can say choice, we got it, await IP, we can say const id ACID is equals to IP, enter the account ID. You need to use await keyword, remember that. And to avoid all these things, we will move it in a separate file in the next video. Const account ID, this thing, enter account ID. But see, this is going to return the string to you. This is going to return the string to you. We need to convert it to the integer. Parse int like this. Const ACNM, you can say only this much. Enter the account name. Enter what? Account name. And default balance is 0. So here you got the account ID, here you got the name. Okay, and then we can say create new account. We can pass account ID, we can pass, so here we need to pass the JavaScript object actually, account ID, account name, and default balance is 0. And then we can say balance :0, right? Or here we can say const balance :0. So team, what I'm requesting you, you can post n number of questions in the comment box. Whatever questions you have, you can post it, and I will record a separate video and help you to clarify your questions. So let us see this create account thing is working or not. Now this thing also I want to automate, and I want to make it little bit, because user won't be knowing the account number, right? So we need to generate account number on our own. I will do that in the next video. User will never enter the account ID. User will just enter the account name. That we will do next time. Let us see this thing is working or not. Let's go here. I am stopping the application running, and you can say node menu.js. Okay, now create new account, connected successfully. Create new account 1, enter the account ID, say 3, account name LMN, right? Account balance 0. New customer created successfully. Go to the DB and let us see. Can you see 3 and LMN that has been done? Now over here, user input JS, we will do it later on. Over here, just add a /n everywhere. Here also add the /n. Here also add the /n. Here also add the /n. /n. Withdraw, we don't need this guy. /n. 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 and /n. Okay, /n. Here also we can have /n. Here you can have /n. Let's add some emoji. Well, if you are not working with the Mac, this facility is not available to you. We can say your account balance is this much, like that. Now let's go here in the menu.js and choice to, here also /n, create new account, /n, please, or you can say deposit money, /n, withdraw money. This is the functionality. /n, check balance, /n, transfer the money. Okay, create new account. Now for this account ID, deposit money, we need a account ID and we need the amount, const amount, and here we can say parse float, enter the amount, enter what? Amount. And here you just need to call a function deposit, and to the deposit we can pass account ID and amount. Same thing goes with withdrawal also. This function call is different. Withdraw, choice, check balance. Here we can say just account ID we are needing, account ID, and then we can say balance and account ID. And transfer money, we can say transfer. To the transfer we need source ID, destination ID, and the deposit. So here we can say src ID, enter source account ID, then you can have dest ID, enter destination account ID and the amount. And here you, if you see, first parameter is the source ID, dest ID and amount. Source ID, dest ID and what? Amount. So here these things are there. Let us see code is working or not now. So just exit, clear the thing, and node menu.js. So here it is saying that connected successfully, create new account. You can say enter a choice 1, enter the account ID, say 5, account name BBG, new customer created successfully. Now go to the database and check it. Select star from, can you see BBG has been there. Now deposit money, sorry, not here. So deposit money, here you can say enter a choice, deposit money to the 5, enter the amount 100 rupees. Okay, now go here and see, can you see to the 500 has been there. Now withdraw operation is working or not. 3, withdraw money 10 rupees. I'm sorry, withdraw money. Okay, menu.js has not been saved yet. Save it and run it again. Node menu.js. 3, withdraw money, account ID 5, enter the amount 10 rupees. 10 is withdrawal. Go here. Can you see 90 rupees are there to the 5. Now withdraw, then check balance, deposit is working, withdraw is working. Now fourth option, check balance, account ID 5, your account balance is 90. Then now fifth option, transfer money, just see, from the 5 I need to transfer 50 rupees or 45 rupees to the 3 account. Enter the source account ID is 5, enter the destination account ID is 3 and 45, right? Amount withdrawal successfully, amount deposited successfully. Now if you go here and can you see both the accounts is having 45 and the 45, which is correct. So in this session we have completed fundamental operations on the database, right? But still this code is not that optimized, this code is not that efficient. Likewise, I told you each class or each file over here should have a single responsibility. Presently menu is doing a job of displaying menu, also it is a doing job of getting a user input. Now we need to remove the user input related code from this file, we need to write it into the separate file. This is the one thing. Second thing, your database operations are not that robust. Means presently I can add the negative amount, I can withdraw the negative amount, I can withdraw the amount which is more than your existing balance. All that things and the error handling is pending. So we can do that in the next video, right? If you have liked this session, if you have enjoyed working with the JavaScript and with me, please tell me in the comment box. I'm going to come with a lot of other videos, project related videos, informational videos, programming related videos in the future. Stay tuned with me. If you like my videos, if you like this content, I'm requesting you, just subscribe my channel. Your single subscription is a receipt of my, what you can say, efforts, right? And that is really enjoying that you are liking the videos and you are wanting some more content from me. That motivates me to do the to create the new content. Well, I'm pushing this much code, db, all db operations. Now everything is available on the GitHub. You may go to the GitHub and see the code, and I'm wanting the pull requests. If you want to improvise the code, send me the pull request. If it is valid, I will accept it. Thanks a lot for staying with me for these 2 hours. Thank you. Thank you. I would be back on the next weekend. Would be uploading some more videos on the next weekend, or if I get a time, I would be uploading in the weekdays also. Thank you. Bye bye.